Hello, guys, it's just me, Charlie. Today, I just want to talk about a very important subject that's personal to me and to those of you on the autism spectrum, or just people in general that have verbal or speaking impairment problems or stuff like that. Because I know sometimes people could have a stuttering problem, they could have a verbal delay in communication when growing up, because in some forms of autism, you could be nonverbal or you could develop verbal communication late when you're young. Or you can have problems with pronouncing your S's or certain words properly growing up, because myself, growing up on the autism spectrum when I was in elementary, middle school, throughout my life in school, I took speech therapy to pronounce certain words and handle certain social situations in my life that helped me evaluate a situation and how to deal with it. And I also went through things like how to pronounce certain words and stuff like that during my time in elementary and middle school, because sometimes I would mix my words together whenever I speak too fast. And it became a habit where people had a hard time understanding what I had to say because I spoke so fast. I would mix my words, or sometimes I would mispronounce words, which made me feel very discouraged. And sometimes other kids would point it out back in the day and make me feel bad about it. And this leads me to just remind you guys that just because someone might talk different, might pronounce things incorrectly, or mix their words, or is nonverbal, doesn't mean they deserve that disrespect towards them. You gotta respect people for who they are and how they might differ from you, but we all come with different forms, shapes, and sizes, and how we interact and communicate with one another, whether you're nonverbal or verbal. Because as kids, we all learn differently, and as human beings, we all come into this world in a way that brings challenges individually. And some challenges carry more heavier than others, but doesn't mean they don't exist, because people, we gotta be more kind to each other, be more patient. And growing up on the autism spectrum is no cake. I know people like to preach autism as a gift and stuff like that, but there's other forms of autism that's in the dark, where they need assisted living and communication accommodations throughout their whole life, a bunch. And I know there's a variety of different forms of autism, but you gotta keep in mind that people may differ from each other, but it doesn't mean accommodations aren't needed. Just keep this in mind whenever you hear someone mispronounce words, or they might stutter or mix their words in, because don't make them feel bad. Just go with the flow and ignore it. Be patient with them. Don't try to correct them or discourage them in a way that makes them feel embarrassed about mispronouncing a word or stuttering or anything like that when it comes to verbal communication or being nonverbal temporarily. Just be supportive and just take the person who they are, whether they mispronounce or whether stutter. We're all human after all, and we make mistakes, and we're just making progress in our own ways. Hope you guys tune into this message. I hope you guys have a great night wherever you are.